The VXR identification isn't new to Australia. We've seen it on an Astra Hot Bring Forth and an Insignia execution vehicle. What's more, in fact, it's been on a Commodore previously. Vauxhall utilized the VXR8 identification for the HSV Club Sport and GTS models it imported to the UK for 10 years until 2017. Which is reasonable considering the identification as the letters propose was made by Vauxhall in any case. However, even a POM, for example, this creator, knows the Holden Commodore VXR is a particularly disputable model, an all-wheel drive V6 liftback that basically replaces a back-wheel drive, V8 controlled vehicle symbol called the Commodore SS. In addition to the fact that it is less effective and slower than the last SSV Redline, yet it likewise costs an excellent more at $55,990. Discuss rubbing salt into the injury. For those perusers who haven't relinquished this survey in an attack of scornful appall, we figure it's as yet worth seeing if this leader of the new, foreign-made Commodore Extend still stacks up as a family-sized execution car. Beginning with execution, the situation doesn't look encouraging on paper. With 235 kilowatts and 381 Nm, the VXR's yields are not just miles behind those of the SSV and the Kia Stinger GT, yet in addition miss the mark regarding the power and torque created by the Turbo V6 Insignia VXR sold not very far in the past. Car Advice's planning gear didn't paint a more positive picture. The VXR timed 6.2 seconds for the 0-100 km/h dash. That is about a moment slower than the SS, 1.4 seconds slower than we've recorded for a Stinger 330 SI, and slower than two VW Group contenders, the Passat 206 TSI car, 5.5 SEC, and Skoda Superb Sport E-Line, 5.8 SEC. As far as drivability, the 2.0-liter 4-barrel turbo discovered somewhere else in the Commodore Go is likewise a superior ordinary motor on account of its more grounded and more vigorous mid-extend reaction. The V6, while more proficient than the SS's V8, formally swallows 9.3 liters of unleaded each 100 kilometers, making it thirstier than the littler motor and also its adversaries, except for the fish-like Stinger. It doesn't help that the VXR is the heaviest in the Commodore run at 1,737 kilograms and worrying about an additional 200 kilograms concern over the Rs and Calais Turbo 4s, for instance. It's not all desperate news, in any case. The V6 loves to rev, and especially once past 4000 RPM supplies the VXR with a cross-country pace equipped for scattering billows of uncertainty hanging over the Commodore's execution abilities. Its exemplary 6-chamber snarl, yet manufactured and improved in Sport/VXR modes, is additionally a better stable than that offered by either the Turbo 4 or the Stinger's 3.3-liter V6. What's more, in ordinary driving it gels similarly also with the General Motors created 9-speed auto as adequately as the Turbo 4. The transmission still needs a more forceful adjustment for its sport mode, in spite of the auto's selective VXR fasten that means the controlling, drivetrain and dampers to another, sportier level named performance. VXR mode is somewhat moderate with its blip downshifts, compelling the utilization of the oar shifters in case you're driving past 7/10. Furthermore, there's a shockingly relaxed and slurred activity while instructing upshifts. It doesn't totally ruin the VXR's stream on a decent street, yet it detracts somewhat from it. The flip side is that while the 9-speeder is no counterpart for a Passat's fast-moving DSG, it is the smoother transmission in regular driving, and that is a huge preferred standpoint in the monotonous routine. What's more, the range-topping Commodore is without question a fine driver's auto, particularly with the VXR mode connected with to present ideal controlling weight and the tautest damping. The magnificent front Brembos elite to the VXR are stupendous at hindering rate with great pedal feel. They support profound jumps into corners, while the sweetly adjusted suspension urges you to push the VXR's front end harder into the landing area amid cornering before the all-wheel drive framework enables the driver to get on the gas sooner than the front drive Commodores. No torque steer like those variations, either. Notwithstanding sharing the GKN Twinstar AWD innovation with the Focus Rs, the VXR's setup isn't as back one-sided as the Ford's, with just a most extreme of 50 for every penny torque heading off to the back. While tail-swinging jokes aren't on tap, the framework permits the VXR to be very unbiased at a fast cornering pace, as two electronically controlled grips on the back pivot a lot more torque to the outside wheel, not utilizing brake spotting like most torque vectoring frameworks. Constantly damping control is just accessible on this leader Commodore. However, in the default touring mode the ride isn't as reliably agreeable as the touring setting on a Rs Commodore. In any case, while it can be unsteady, the suspension never crashes inconsiderately onto its knock stops. It would have been a decent reward if the auto disclosed to you which mode you were in by means of the advanced focus segment of the instrument show. You can essentially look down to see whether the Sport or VXR catches have their little light enlightened, or even settle on a drive mode screen on the focal dashboard's touchscreen. However, call us critical, it appears an interesting exclusion. The driver show gives you choices for a G-constrained dial or a 0-100 km/h clock, however the last is potentially not the best thought considering the circumstances we specified before. Moving down, the sportiest Commodore Encounter now accessible are chunkily supported, punctured calfskin front seats that enable you to tailor the level of body embracing by means of electric modification. This analyzer would likewise dial down the solidness of the seat backrest and pad on the off chance that it were conceivable. However, in any event there's a back rub capacity, and ventilation. The sharp HUD can show a computerized rev counter, or on the other hand the radio station or NAV pointers. It likewise lights up the realistic of an auto or human if the impact cautioning framework recognizes a potential danger, and beeps and flashes a notice on the focal driver show if especially concerned. VXR logos include on the apparatus lever, mats, tread plates and instrument board, however not on the ergonomically superb dimpled cowhide sports guiding wheel. The range topper doesn't decrease the amount of hard plastics found in bring-down spec Commodores, and an industrious shake from the correct side of the dash indicated another case of defective fit and complete we've encountered in the new model. It's not perfect in more reasonable Commodores now attempting to contend with Mazda SIXS and VW Passats, yet appears to be additionally glaring in a $56,000 variation. A feeling of manufacture quality, be that as it may, is given by the wonderful clunk heard when you close one of the Commodore's entryways or its bootlid. Also, the less expensive plastics don't totally eclipse an inside that conveys huge ticks for plan, infotainment, and space. The 8.0-inch touchscreen might be only an inch greater than the standard MyLink show, yet it has a major effect outwardly. Also, its design and realistic introduction looks more refined than the 7.0-inch variant. Taller travelers appreciate liberal extra space regardless of the transported in Commodore losing some length and a reasonable piece of wheelbase over the old home-developed model. 6-footers will brush their hair on the rooftop lining, however. The agreeable back seats incorporate warming and a middle armrest with 2 cup holders, while the back of the inside comfort gives vents and USB ports. Raised stockpiling isn't incredible. The entryway receptacles are shaped fundamentally to hold bottles, and there are no guide pockets on the monetary allowance-looking plastic front seat backs. A press of the lion identification on the back end is a slick method for getting to the boot, which is long fit as a fiddle, if not broad, and more effortlessly available than a boot-lidded car. Along these lines, while its 490-liter space behind the back seats trails the Passat's 586 liters, it overwhelms the VW when the seats are collapsed, 1,450 v 1,152 liters. The Commodore records a win and a misfortune against the opponents that run the Holden nearest for measurements. The superb liftback vehicle holds 625 and 1,760 liters, individually. The Stinger 330SI offers less space, with 406/1114 liters. Holden has surely stacked up the VXR with apparently all the standard hardware it could marshal. Its adversaries are a long way from close-fisted, yet none can coordinate the VXR's 20-inch compound wheels, electric sunroof, ventilated front seats, or versatile LED matrix fog light framework. Furthermore, just the Stinger can coordinate the Brembo front brakes, while including them at the back, as well. The VXR additionally leads on driver help tally. On the off chance that lone a turbo or two could have been added to the bundle. Bundling issues are referred to by Holden, and which maybe clarifies why HSV is, now, making negative clamors about making a quicker ZB Commodore. However, it's likewise figured utes and SUVs are a more gainful path forward. The VXR's absence of snort isn't perfect, particularly considering Australians are as of now contending with a Commodore that is never again privately assembled or race-driven. What's more, VXR purchasers can't brag they have an elite drivetrain like SS proprietors. The V6AWD format is accessible in RS, RSV, and Calais trims and for as low as $40,790 with the RS. Go even lower, $37,290, and you'll discover the Turbo 4 front drive RS we figure is the pick of the Commodore run for all-round execution and esteem. For purchasers who esteem the sound of a six-chamber, the consolation of all-paw footing, and bunches of treats, there's still a lot of allure to be found in the VXR. In the event that it's missing as an execution vehicle, the VXR's brilliant guiding and taking care of in any event guarantee the Commodore's notoriety for being a phenomenal driver's auto stays in place.